Welcome to Five Element Qigong, the foundational root. I'm your guide, Maria Chaudhry, and this is our opening ceremony. This is the beginning of an 8-week journey. And what better way to open a ceremony than with a passage from the Tao Te Ching? I have many copies of the Tao Te Ching, and this is one of my favorite. It's a little tiny copy, and it is by Stephen Mitchell. And this is verse 64. What is rooted is easy to nourish. What is recent is easy to correct. What is brittle is easy to break. What is small is easy to scatter. Prevent trouble before it arises. Put things in order before they exist. The giant pine tree grows from a tiny sprout. The journey of 1,000 miles starts from beneath your feet. Rushing into action, you fail. Trying to grasp things, you lose them. Forcing a project to completion, you ruin what was almost right. Therefore, the master takes action by letting things take their course. He remains as calm at the end as at the beginning. He has nothing, thus has nothing to lose. What he desires is non-desire. What he learns is to unlearn. He simply reminds people of who they have always been. He cares about nothing but the Tao. Thus, he can care for all things. Thank you, Lao Tzu. Okay, so let's start this journey with an inquiry. I hope you pull out your journal and your pen, and we're gonna find out and get curious. You might already know why you said yes to this course, but let's just take a nice deep breath and sink even deeper into our bodies. And let's get curious a little deeper, as if you're assuming that you don't know the answer. Like, what if you don't know all the reasons you said yes? Yeah. And so breathing into this deep well of wisdom in your body, there is a path of wisdom that runs through your body that is nourished by the elements, is nourished by the Tao, and you are rooted in this wisdom path. And as you go deep into your inquiry, finding out why did I say yes? Ask yourself, what is it that I need? What is it that I need for this experience to be an awesome experience for me? What do I need to learn? What do I want? What do I want to know? What what do I want this experience to be like so it supports me in all the areas of my life? So it can, when I tap into the part of me that's creative, what does my creativity need this to be? What is the part of me that is a professional facilitator, organizer, or healer, therapist, or teacher? What is it that my profession needs this to be? does my body need this to be? And I know I'm asking a bunch of questions. These are stream of consciousness questions. Some will ping you, some won't. That's okay. What are you hoping to receive? What are you hoping to learn or know or understand? When you think about Qigong and the Tao, and you think about movement as medicine and mindfulness and this connection to health and this connection to spirituality and to community, how do you want to feel? And ask yourself, are you really willing to commit your precious life force energy and your time to be here and to practice and to show up, to invest in this? And so, how do you want to show up so that this journey is nourishing and supportive and healing for you? And just taking a few more minutes. I know I asked it like 1,000 questions, and that's why you have a Qigong journal. So throughout this journey, there'll be things that ping you, and you'll write down, you'll get insights, questions, breakthroughs. But I asked you some questions, and I'll just share with you just a little bit of why I'm here. And some of you may already know I'm here because I'm committed and dedicated to Qigong and to really listening. I feel pulled, I feel called by something that is opening up as each time I say yes, there's another place that opens up to get curious about. Each time I just go a little deeper. And Qigong has nourished me and sustained me for more than half my life. I just turned 50. I just had both of my hips replaced, and I feel better than I have than in a really long time. And so, and I really put a lot of that, why I feel so good is because of this Qigong practice and being connected to something bigger than me and something so medicinal and really being connected to community. And so that's why I'm here. And I'm going to show up here for you and for me unwaveringly. And as I'm talking about, one of the questions I asked you was like, how is this gonna serve you professionally? And I say that because, you're gonna learn things here, tools and skills here, and then you may share them with your people. And because you're a person in the community, more than likely, people that are attracted to Qigong tend to attract other people that want kind of what they got, really, and they want to be around them and they want their wisdom and their guidance and their teaching. And um, so freely share it. At the same time, you're making a commitment and a promise to yourself that this practice is for you. Like when you're going through this, you're not thinking, oh, I'm going to share this with so and so. You're here for yourself. And then when you do replay, maybe, then you're like, oh, yeah, so and so could benefit from that. I'm going to show them this movement next time I see them. Okay. So, as I asked you all the questions, I did ask you, are you willing to commit? And so I'm really asking that one more time. Are you willing to make your commitment to show up for yourself? Okay. And so within that commitment, let's go ahead and write down a simple intention. Now, this simple intention literally means something you can remember. At the end of the class, I'm going to ask you, what is it? And at the end of 8 weeks, I'm going to ask you. At the same time, we're just now planting the seed for an intention. So this intention might change and it might distill and evolve into something different. But based on where you're understanding now, what is your simple, honest intention for yourself and this practice for the next 8 weeks that's going to hold you and root you into this practice so you can grow and thrive? Brilliant. And so here we're setting our intention. We've got clear on our why. We asked ourselves some questions on our why. We're making a commitment. We're setting our intention. And so we're about to start this journey. And, on the trailhead, if you've ever walked on the trail, you're like, you start here and then you end there and you know where you're starting and you know where you're ending. So that's what we're going to do. And so at this beginning point, let's get a sense of where you are now. And at the end, we'll assess where you want to be. And I ask you all these things. How do you want to feel? What do you need? What do you want to know? What do you hope for? What do you want? What do you desire? All that. And you reflected on that, right? So let's just see. Okay, here you are now. And all the things that you want to know, I ask you, what do you want to know? So the part of you that wants to know that, how much of that do you know right now? Because you want to know all this, how much of that do you know? And that same question could be with feel. You want to feel a certain kind of way in your body or in your emotions or in your mind. How much of how you want to feel do you feel now? And how much of, so essentially, whatever you want to feel and learn or know that drew you here, how much of that are you experiencing in this moment? Mm, beautiful. And so these are just questions. These are percolating inquiries. You may have some real clear answers, or they may still be vague. And you can kind of keep them with you as we go through the journey and we go through tonight's practice. We're about to open our bodies. And there's just one more thing we have to always talk about at this point, right before we go into it, is the normalness of resistance. Like when we are on the precipice of stepping into the unknown, when we are leveling up, this is called the foundational roots of Qigong. And so it sounds like it's basic, and in some ways it is. And at the same time, this is an up level. All the things you want to feel, learn, know, you're here, and you will up level. So anytime you up level, there's growth, there's a stretch, there is resistance. And when we step into a healing container, a transformational container, a learning container, it's common for resistance to show up. It probably has already shown up. So let's name it, let's normalize it, let's anticipate it. And knowing yourself, you know yourself better than anybody else. What ways can you anticipate resistance showing up for you? Is it going to be you're too busy? Is it going to be you got too much going on, your space? I don't know, so and so needs this, something, something, something. I don't know what it is for you, but anticipate that. And then now, how do you want to take care of yourself when it shows up? How are you going to respond to the resistance?